Welcome to the John Show with your host, John Doogie Clouser.
All right. What's going on, everyone? How are you? We are here on a new episode of the Juan Solo Show with your host, me, Juan D. Clouser. We're here on episode 168 of this great show that I call my show podcast thing. I'm higher than a cat right now. And what's up? How are you? Hope you're doing well. I can barely hear you out of my right ear. So, last Monday, I don't know if you listened to that lethargic thing that I called a show last week. I had an itch in my ear, and then I went and I like itched it with my finger, which was all of it was silly. All looking back on it, when things happen, and then you look at it, then you look back on it, you're like, on every ounce of it, you're like, I fucked up on so many different things, so many different levels on every ounce of it. And so I scratched it with my ear, and then I was like, well, let me get a deeper itch. And I took a Q-tip to it, and that's when I think I pushed a bunch of earwax closer to my eardrum, and so now I just have to basically just let it like work its way out. But it's like it throbbed too because I think I kept pushing it deeper into it. So in turn, this is where we're at. Can't really hear out of my right ear. It's getting better. It's like, the best way to describe it is, when you change the balance of the audio speakers on your car, and like you turn it like way left. So it was way left all week pretty much until a couple days ago, where it's more like 30% going back to center. So we'll see. We'll get there. It's so funny when these things happen. I just automatically am like, okay, well, this is life now. This is just how it's going to be, how we're gonna live, and I guess we'll just have to get through it. And then you just start finding small victories in life, and it makes you really appreciate things. So if my life ever goes back to normal. I'm being so dramatic by this. So dramatic. Just because it's like, when you smoke a bunch of pot, then you start getting deep thought about it. You're like, what did I do to myself? Did I cause a massive rupture in my ear? And then I'm like, what if it wants to bleed, but it can't bleed because like I put some like wax eardrops in it, and like that traps it. And then like it can't bleed out. And then what if it's just like building up in my ear? And it's like, well, John, maybe you just have sensitive ears. Or sensitive eardrums, or the fact that you slammed a fucking Q-tip into your ear. That could be it. And, that might be just what it is. So you have to just let things run its course. Thank God you have insurance, even though you don't want to use it. Because for God's sakes, I hardly ever go to the doctor, so I don't really know how to use it, to tell you the truth. And it's like, I could Google it, yeah. Do I want to? No. I'm just like, can I ride out that pain? But, this is where we're at. This is what I do. This is the weird way I live my life. It's stupid as hell. I should be more of an adult. This is the one aspect. This is the one place where I'm like, this is how you like to live? This is why you want to live like this? It's like, this is silly as hell, dude. This is so goddamn dumb to be acting like this. But besides that, like, the best things too, guys, something I learned, the sooner you can just laugh at your faults and, of course, like try to fix them. I guess better to laugh at them versus to see them and then do drugs. But that is to each his own. But, yeah, just to laugh at your faults. It's awesome. It's great. It adds and it helps, and it gives you so much more ammo to have things to talk about. I don't know. For me, I do. But also, a lot of you don't do a podcast, so probably then maybe don't look at their faults and try to fix them. and just live your life very narcissistic and enjoy. Because if you want the truth, I know a lot of narcissists in my life, and a lot of them have made it pretty far, just being incredibly, what's the word? Not giving a shit about anyone. So it is what it is. Do you? But I'm here with my iced coffee, and your bitch is ready to purr. So this is where we're at. Oh boy. So what do we have today? What do we have on this agenda of this podcast? At this point, like I always write out a bunch of stuff, but I just don't. I just don't really ever look at it. It's so funny. I did. So I bought. So this is the thing. You want to buy stuff used, right? You want to like try to be like, you know what? Hey, so if you can save a couple bucks, why not? Because it's how I look at it. Is like these are a lot of stuff that I try to buy used stuff for. Is like, what's a good example of a tripod, or some sort of like golfing net, like we're just a Target, and it's fine if it's used. It's fine because I just if I can save a couple bucks, that's fine. I don't go cheap on other things like medical insurance. Like I pay the most expensive medical insurance for a reason, just so whenever I do want to use it, whenever I want to stop being dumb to use it, I have it, right? But so I bought. What did I buy? I bought some. I bought a golfing net, one of those like 10 by 10 ones, and the string, how it came was it's so funny how this thing was engineered. So remember the old school tents where the poles would be all collapsible. So it's all like 3 by 1 like poles. And so you have a bunch of them, and like they just line up like 20 of them, just like packed together, and you just whip it out. And when you whip it out, there's basically like an extension cord, rubber band cord, extension. What would you the rubber the ones that have a little bit of rubber band into them, but it's like a rope, but it has a cord in it. I am doing an awful job, and there's what the fuck you saying? And but so it had one of those, but you could see why it was used was because that rubber had been worn pretty bad, and probably it was the second time of me like putting it all together, the whole thing broke. And then once it broke, it has to curve because it's 10 feet tall. It's a 10-foot long metal pole that has to curve over to another side, and so one of them curves over and the other one curves over the other one, so and that's where you would shoot it into this net. So but I had to return this, so I returned it. It was one of those things like, so what's really cool is not cool, I don't know how you want to explain it, but what happens is that you can return like your items at like an Amazon or like a UPS store, like that. It's just much easier versus like you having to like get a whole packaging, print a whole thing out. You can do that, or vice versa, whichever one's easier for you. So I sent it to a UPS store. I went to a UPS store, dropped it off, did the whole thing like that, and then I didn't get my return. And apparently it went into a coupon, which I don't understand how I apparently chose that as an option, which I have never chosen, and I've done returns before. So that's what makes it so weird to me, because it's like, what? A coupon? It goes on a coupon. It's like, where's this coupon? And so I was like, what the hell is this talking about? So, and it was like $200. So it wasn't like a lot, but it was just a decent amount of money where I'm like, oh, I could definitely use this to just go ahead and buy, a pair of golf shoes, something that's I need, and just I don't need these things. These things are just dumb items. Like the golfing shoes. The golfing shoes are like $65, and they have like a payment plan thing where you can pay $10 a month. So I'm just gonna pay $10 for the next like 6 months for these shoes. Stupid as hell, dumb as hell, but it's funny because like, yeah, I can just pay $10, no big fucking deal, and like it just then, if anything, it just helps my credit, or maybe it does. I don't even know if it's connected to my goddamn credit. It just allowed me to do it, so I was like, fuck it, let's do it. Who knows? Who fucking knows? Who knows about any of this stuff? But I got into a awful argument again with some of the people there. I don't know if did I tell this story last week? I don't remember, because it happened last week, and I feel like I probably talked about it. But I was in such a fuck. I'm just like, guys. I'm like, I'm not understanding. Like, it said that my money's going to be there, but it's not there. It's not showing up in the app. It's not showing up in my account. Like, I thought it was just going to be a direct deposit back into my account. I'm like, I'm not understanding any of this stuff. And they're like, well, and I'm trying to talk to these people on the phone. They're like, well, if you just look at this email I sent you. I'm like, no, why can't you just tell me? Like, I'm like, well, they're like, well, what I'm going to say to you is going to be on the email. It's like, then why are you even here? Like, why can't you just tell me what it is instead of me having to look it through an email? It was a long thing. There's a lot of misspellings on the email. It was a big fucking thing. I don't even know where I was going with this goddamn story. I was just, mostly just because this whole goddamn AI stuff. I'm just like, I get it, dude. If they take over, we have nothing to be upset about. We have absolutely nothing to be upset about. Absolutely none. Because I try to call and try to like have the people help me. So then my whole thing on that is it's not that I don't trust the computers. I don't trust the computers in the sense I don't trust the system, that the coding. That's the word. I don't trust the coding of the online systems to work. So then what's going to happen is if I do it like that, I'm always afraid that like when it comes to like paying a bill, the bill time comes and then something happens. It's like my phone, and then I can't, the bill comes and then they turn my phone off, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why did you turn my phone off? It's like, well, you used the online stuff and I guess your thing didn't go through. So my thought process is I will call the company, and if I call the company, they record it. They say it all the time. We record this for, our records and all that shit for like, training purposes and all that thing. So I'm like, okay, perfect, great. And then if I'm talking to a person, it's going to show up in a log. So then if I call again, it's going to show back up in that previous call that has this whole log of what I've talked about. So perfect. It's great. Then it's foolproof. But the thing is, every time I call these people, they're always like, well, there's an app we have for this stuff where you can go there and you can check all this stuff. It's like, then why are you here? Why are you here? What's your purpose? You've always been able to do this. And it's so funny now, sometimes you're like, well, why can't you just do it? Like, well, it's privacy reasons, so we don't do it. You have to go on the app and stuff like that. But like, what do you mean? You can, if I can literally talk to you right now and be like, hey, go ahead and charge my card, and you can just pay it. I don't understand how you can't just go into my program and just change a couple settings. I don't give a shit. It's really not that big of a deal. You already have my card information and shit. So it's like, dude, don't act like you guys are not like fully aware of what's going on. And what's the most funny thing about the whole thing about these companies is it takes no time for them to charge your card to get your money, but then when it comes to return, it takes 7 to 10 business days. How does it take that when like I ordered something and no joke, within 20 minutes that shit's off my goddamn account? What is the deal? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean that it's going to take 7 to, and they're like, well, it's just part of like, the billing process. Like, how is the billing process so easy to get it in, but it's so hard for it to come back out to you? And that's, ladies and gentlemen, should show you how these people don't pay taxes. These people don't pay fucking taxes. So they have a whole team of people. They pay. They're like, well, it's gonna cost us less money to pay these lawyers to figure out a way for us not to pay these taxes versus us just paying these taxes. So, good for them. Good for all this iced coffee's for you, buddy. So this is where we're at. That was a lot of nothing right there. I hope you guys know that. But again, I hope you guys are really ready for this whole AI shit. It's really coming, and it's coming hard. And a lot of you are just. But I am. I don't know. I don't know if I'm not that worried. I just always assumed that this shit was gonna happen. I always assumed. They kept talking about it. If you want the truth, I'm like, okay, now it's happening. Okay. I'm 34 and it's happening now. Oh, okay. Wow. I thought I would be younger. Actually, to tell you the truth, I thought I'd be kind of older too. But, who knows? Hell, they almost have AIDS cured. So, well, here comes the robots. It's like, that makes sense. And then it all makes sense in the aliens. It's like, is this a whole thing? They're like, oh, they finally figured it out. They finally cracked the code to the AI to be able to make everything fake. It's like now the aliens are going to come down, which I still don't understand. Like, if you've been watching us, there ain't much down here, guys. There ain't much. We just yell at each other. That's all we're doing. If it's not about, where we can park a car, it's about our genitals. And then if it's not about that, it's, hey, what people of what skin tone can be in what part of the country and where they can buy houses and drive around and not be harassed. So that's what we do. So I don't understand why the aliens would want to come down here. I've never understood it. Not once in my life have I ever understood. I'm just like, yeah, I mean, yeah, no wonder they don't want, it's not, they don't want to be seen. They just come down here and be like, yeah, there's not much down here. And yeah, and maybe that, and what is it? They say the reason why we're seeing a lot more now because of all like the bombs and like that. And plus, what did China do? China just bought corn for the first time from South Africa. Man, I don't know. I just read that and I was like, well, I hope that corn is as good as that corn they have in Iowa, because that's kind of what I've been eating my whole life. And, it's been not bad. It's not bad. Popcorn, corn on a cob, just like this, just taking shaving the corn off the cob. Was it candy corn? Those things. That's the corn I know. I hope that corn from South Africa is really as good as the corn that you were getting from America, because I know it's not. Let's just be real. It's not going to be as good. It's not going to be as fatty. It's not going to be as rich. It's not going to be all the things that you once had. We blew your brains. We were like that stripper ex-girlfriend who just blew your brains out. And now you're trying to pay your taxes, have a mortgage payment, have like 2 cars in the driveway. You're trying to live that kind of life, and it's not going to happen. Ain't going to happen, China. So go ahead. Are they going to be reliable as us? Not a chance in hell. You know why? Because we were fucking America. And there's a reason why a lot of immigrants are running here still. Still, even with your asshole fucking honest, there's still a shit ton of immigrants. We're like, fuck going to China. Fuck that. And plus, it's too far away to swim. Anyway, but so, take your corn and get it someplace else. We don't even want you to buy our corn, dude. That's the thing. America's doing this because we don't want you around. We want to become how your culture is, just like very independent, just isolated into itself, because we just want to watch TikTok videos, and we just want to gorge ourselves on fast food, which, oh my God, don't eat Taco Bell. I can't. I have. It blew my mind last night how upset, how I should have never done it. Why did I do that to myself? I do it, and every time Taco Bell's like, it never ceases to fail me. It does one thing, and it just hurts me. God, it sucks getting old. Because 34, I've been really like, well, I can't do that anymore. Oh, shouldn't do that anymore. Just one thing after another, just after another. But go ahead, China, take your corn, get it someplace else. So, American corn is still better and always will be better. There's a reason why we make it. I don't know. Does China even make corn? Google. This podcast is fucking stupid. This is the dumbest thing in the world. I could do this for like 3 minutes. But all right, I tested out. I did everything. I did what I need to do. And if you notice, this podcast might be a little bit darker than it normally is. And the reason why that is because I have it down. My ISO was normally at 200. Now it's at 100. 100, and then my aperture's at 30. So I am just trying it out, seeing if it works. I noticed the last couple of times I've been really blown out, and I'm like, oh, so if that's the case, that means I have enough light. I can drop the steps on my camera, which then makes a better, clear quality video. That's what they say. I don't know. It's probably a conspiracy theory, and yeah, I'm probably a mark for saying that. Okay, anyway, so does China make corn? Might be the dumbest thing I've ever written. I said, yeah. It may therefore come as a surprise, but China today is actually producing more corn than rice. In 2021, the country's primary cereal product consists of 43% corn and 34% rice, as the data from the Food and Agricultural Organization shows. Do they eat corn in China? Oh, it took 2 stops for it to get racist. Not even racist, just like, hey, Asian person question, do you guys eat corn? Because there's some dipshit who's stoned as fuck like me about, that asses several years ago. And there we are again. Here we are. As the world history just repeats itself over and over again. Corn is the most produced food commodity in China, followed by rice and fresh vegetables. Corn is the most produced food commodity in China, followed by rice and fresh vegetables. They said the same sentence twice. I swear to God, they say the same sentence twice. Corn is the most produced food commodity in China, followed by rice and fresh vegetables. Corn is the most produced corn commodity in China, followed by rice and fresh vegetables. China produces more than 100 million tons of 5 food commodities: corn, rice, vegetables, wheat, sugar cane. See, I say dumb stuff on this podcast, but then you also will learn something. So I don't know why South Africa is buying China. Wait, no, why is China buying South African corn? Let's Google this. Why is China buying corn from South Africa? It's probably like for animals and shit, because I don't think most of the corn that America eats is even the corn from Iowa. I was just saying that just to be a smart ass. I think a lot of that is mostly just for animals. So, Beijing, China. China has received the first shipment of corn from South Africa. Another signal that is striving to differ its global resources of grain and its drive of food source security. Oh, of food security. Oh, so it might be just trying to get it. Yeah, but that's also probably somebody pro-China. It's so fucked up because it's how you have to fucking look at things now. Is that it's like, well, this is what you read, but remember, it could also not be that exactly. It could also be the exact opposite. Yeah, the sky is blue to me, but I might write it down that it's purple, and someone will believe it. And it's just how it has to be. That's all of an example, but this is truth. That's what it is. That is what the internet is now at this point. And it's so funny. I had a guy. There was this a stupid fucking meme, dude. It was like one of these popular. This one that had like 1.2 million like followers, right? And they had this Tom Hanks thing, and it said like Tom Hanks says that that we shouldn't change the like books that were written in the past to fit modern day social norms. Like it's the reason, basically the reason why these books are historic is because these are what they thought, and this was the time period of the time. If you change it to this time, then it defeats the whole purpose of having it. It's like having 20 fucking versions of the Bible. It's just ridiculous. It's not useful. It's not helpful. I'm sure it is to somebody. Shouldn't say that, John. Don't say that stuff. Don't talk like that. Don't talk like that. Anyway, so. It's anyway, not anyways. I swear to God, why do so many of you miss like why do you guys fuck up that one? That one's one of the easiest ones. That's the easiest one in the book. It's anyway. It's just singular. Anyways doesn't make you sound smart. It doesn't sound smart. And especially for people who talk. It's like, I Googled it before I even started doing a podcast. I was like, is it anyway or is it anyways? Just for this exact reason. Just so I could scold you guys 168 episodes into my own bullshit. So, stop doing it. It's anyway, not anyways. Anyway. But I had this guy, so I just wrote, and I'm like, this generation doesn't even read that much. And dude, it got like 400 likes. Humble brag. That's not the reasoning why I'm telling you this story. The reason I'm telling you the story is this guy wrote to me. He's like, he just said, shut the fuck up, I think he said. It was just something really simple. I'm like, what the fuck did I do? And then he went off. Yeah, he said to me, shut the fuck up. And he's with a smiley face. And I was like, okay. And someone who then commented under that was like, oh, that's awesome that, you can read. So he probably wasn't talking about you. And then the guy shot back with the guy who told me to shut the fuck up, said, it's real easy to say that when you live in the Western country. I used to read 700-page books in 3 to 4 hours when I was not even 10. Just shut the fuck up. It's like, I don't know what the fuck that has to do with anything. It's like, I don't understand. That just, what the fuck? And guys, that's the internet. That's what you deal with. And then some of you guys are striving real hard. I have a small little mountain hill of a fucking following on the internets. And I don't want any of that. As much as I gratefully enjoy having, it's a lot of, you get this shit. I get this. If it's not this, it's fucking people who kiss raccoons on the mouth. And then they are like, fuck you, dude. You probably pay for all your followers. It's like, no, I don't pay for them. But you have to kiss raccoons on the mouth for your followers. I rather do what I do. I rather sit in this fucking room and do this all goddamn day than kiss a fucking raccoon. Anyway, so that's it in the podcast. Be safe. Stay black. Bye.